Islanders, Amanda and I are back from our cruise aboard the Carnival Vista, December the 18th through the 24th, and man, what a cruise. We tried to do our best in keeping you updated with everything happening on board. It was a wild week. It was a crazy week. Kendall Fire and Joey and several of the bar staff and several members, staff members, crew members on board had to be in isolation, in quarantine. There were positive COVID cases among crew. There were positive cases among passengers, including in our own group. Of the 8 of us, there are only 3 of us who have tested negative. That's right. In our group alone, 5 positive COVID cases. Amanda and I are not included in that so far. We hope to not be, but I have all kinds of details on today's show and tomorrow's show and through the rest of the year. There's a lot to talk about, Islanders, so let's get right to it right here on Island Time. A big hello to all you Islanders. I hope you're doing well. It's the day after Christmas. I hope you have time away from work. You're spending time with family and friends and having lots of food, getting everything you want from Santa Claus. There's a lot going on, and Amanda and I are trying to settle back in and settle home after our cruise aboard the Carnival Vista. First, let me say this. It was a much-needed cruise. We needed to get away. We celebrated our 10-year anniversary. Amanda's a teacher. There were other teachers in our group. They needed a break. And overall, was the cruise great? It was. It really was. But there are some concerns that I have today that I'm going to share with you. Carnival already realizes some things need to change. They're sending out emails left and right to those cruising. Protocols are changing all the time. Ports are saying, nope, you can't come here. Boats are coming back early. If you look at Holland America and what happened in California, they came back 2 days early. There's so much going on. Let me share this with you first because many of you have asked. There are 5 out of 8 people in our group that have tested positive for COVID. Amanda and I are not in that group. We've tested negative so far. We have kits still available here. We're testing every day or two. We feel fine. We do. And we hope to remain negative, as far as we can, but we're staying at home for the time being. All of those who have tested positive are either family or friends of ours. They traveled with us. They're all actually staying together right now and celebrated Christmas together yesterday. And they're all okay. Mild symptoms and just trying to wait this thing out. So I know that you're praying for them. I appreciate your prayers. And please pray that Amanda and I are spared, and don't catch COVID, don't contract it. We'll see what happens in the coming days. But I wanted to share that with you first. And let me share some other things with you. We had a blast aboard the Carnival Vista. So many of you sent gifts for Amanda and I, and we were blown away when we opened the door. Amanda was surprised with the balcony cabin. I upgraded our spa interior to a balcony. But so many of you sent gifts through the fun shop, and it blew me away. Thank you so much for expressing your love and appreciation to us, and know that we love you as well. Let me mention this. We are going live tonight at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time. I'm going to go live and share some of the things we talk about today. I'm going to be here to answer your questions. There is so much going on right now in cruising, and I'm here to help any way I can. We just stepped off a ship 48 hours ago. Plan to join us tonight live 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time as we talk about all kinds of things going on. Let's talk about capacity first. We knew in one of my December themes, my cruise preview show, December the 1st, talked about capacity, and I mentioned that cruise lines, these 2 weeks of the year, the Christmas week and the week after, would be pushing capacity because demand is there those 2 weeks. We're seeing that. We saw Mike Pack make an announcement that Carnival is selling right now the most passengers it has ever sailed aboard the Carnival Mardi Gras. It's a record. It is a record. And we were at 83% capacity on the Carnival Vista for the December 18th sailing. That, again, is high in itself, 83%. And this is at a time when COVID cases are skyrocketing across the industry, not just Carnival, but it is across the industry. Capacity was higher than I thought it would be, and it's something that we'll talk about here in a little bit as well. Masking. We received an email within 24 hours of our cruise saying Carnival has changed their protocols. You must wear a mask if you are indoors and you are not eating or drinking. I simply thought I could carry a drink around with me the whole time and I would be okay. Listen, there used to be a few single mask police on board. Every crew member now is the mask police, okay? I say this, and some of you, you don't think masking is a big deal. You're fine with it. You're okay with it. That's great. I hope you are, because that's the way it is. For those of you who do not like wearing masks indoors, you don't like wearing masks during shows, comedy shows, the main theater show, walking up and down the corridors, sitting at a bar, I'm telling you now, you might rethink cruising right now if you are one of those. You had to wear a mask all the time unless you're eating or drinking, and they were hard about it. When I say they, I'm talking about the crew. They had masks that you could wear. Crew members carried around backpacks, literally, that had masks. But you have to wear a mask. And this is through the end of January. Carnival has enhanced the mask protocol through the end of January, and they mean business. I want to point that out to you. Now, as far as COVID and quarantine, Kendall Fire, who we know and love, she was spectacular on Sunday. She even joined us Monday or Tuesday. Amanda and I were going live, and she literally just came up and was talking to us and talking to you as we were live. And that was the day she disappeared, that afternoon, Monday or Tuesday, and she was in quarantine. Joey, the comedy club director, was in quarantine for the rest of the week. Now, listen to this, okay? We get off the ship on the 24th, and Kendall is back on the 24th. So she was in quarantine for like 5 days. It must have been that she tested negative. It could have been 2 times, 3 times, maybe every single day she was tested. I don't know, but Kendall Fire is back as cruise director on the December 24th sailing. And I don't know about Joey, the comedy club director, of course, her boyfriend, not sure. But those were the 2 big names that were quarantined. And then throughout the week, you just continued to see, it was almost painful. Bartenders, you'd show up and you would see someone who'd served you for 2 or 3 days. The next day they're gone. Wait staff the same way. The wait staff worked so hard, and Jonna was just absolutely awesome from the Philippines. She took care of us, but by the end of the week it was just her. You know, usually it's a team of 3 or at least a team of 2 that help each other and wait tables together. It was just her the last night. Her counterpartners there had COVID symptoms, and they had to quarantine. If you have a COVID symptom, even if it's not COVID, if you have a headache, a sore throat, you quarantine for 10 days. And so it was almost painful to see, but it was almost like the ship was short-staffed in some areas because so many of them were in quarantine. We also found out from Jonna and guest services that the staff are now being tested twice per week, not just once per week, as has been the case for so long. They're now being tested twice a week, which is probably, that's probably the way to go there. As I mentioned, several in our group felt bad on disembarkation day. They let Carnival know, but of course they're getting off the ship within 90 minutes or 2 hours of them saying, hey, we don't feel good. And the day we got off the ship, we stopped in Galveston. We got an Abbott test, and those who felt like maybe they had COVID tested positive for COVID. Amanda and I were negative. We flew home. The others drove home. And like I mentioned, they are in isolation right now, and we are too as well because we've, I guess, been exposed. We were around them the whole week. I don't know how we haven't tested positive. We're vaccinated, of course, and Amanda and I have had COVID, so maybe that's part of it as well. I don't know. Many others on our Facebook page for the sailing have tested positive as well. Dozens and dozens and dozens of people have tested positive. So we're thinking about them, and it is a reality right now. And my mind goes to what do cruise lines have to do right now after what happened aboard the Carnival Freedom and what happened with the Odyssey of the Seas with Royal Caribbean. There's a lot going on. Like I mentioned, Holland America had to miss a stop in Mexico and came back early. What do cruise lines have to do right now to continue cruising? So many of you have asked me, do I think cruising will stop in 2022? I've got that answer for you tomorrow. But today, I'm going to tell you this. cruise lines have to decrease capacity. I know this was a time to test it. It makes sense to test it. The capacity and the demand for that capacity, higher capacity is there, but it's not the smart thing to do right now. It's really, really not. You need to decrease capacity. Maybe it's the 70% like it has been for so long. Maybe it's a little bit below that. But I think cruise lines need to decrease capacity right now. The masking in place while indoors, I don't like to wear the mask. I don't. But if it works at all, then I think that it needs to stay in place for the time being. For the next 60 days probably, masks are going to stay in place, and Carnival has already announced that, and other cruise lines have as well. And then my mind goes to protecting the crew. Cruise lines have to do whatever they can, even if that means using passenger cabins to help spread out crew members, because crew members' quarters are so tight underneath the ships. Carnival needs to do everything they can, and the cruise industry needs to do everything they can to protect crew members and make sure that those tight quarters that are underneath the ship, that there's some space there where crew members can spread out and not be as impacted or around as many people all the time. And then one thing I thought would be nice, NCL did this, I guess it's been about 2 weeks ago, when they had a large outbreak on their ship. They gave every passenger testing kits to take home. Abbott self-test to take home. I thought that was something that was unique, and I believe, especially with the big package that was just signed by our government, 500 million tests. Could we see some of these tests fall into cruise lines' hands, where when you leave the ship, you're given a test? If you feel like you need to take it then, you can take it. You might get home and take it 2, 3, 4 days later. Maybe you take it so you can inform your work and others, and you feel fine about being with your friends and family. Hey, I've taken a test. It is indeed negative. I feel okay going out and about. I think that would be a nice gesture. We'll see if it happens. I don't know, but I don't see why it can't happen. And if you don't want to take the test, of course you don't have to take the test. I'm not saying that you take it while you're on board and getting off the ship is conditional on the test. I'm just saying they give it to you, just like a luggage tag. Some of us use luggage tags, some of us don't. They could give us a test, you put it in your luggage. If you want to take it when you get off the ship the same day, you can. If you want to take it when you get home, you can. If you want to take it and put it in the trash, you can do that as well. These are just some of my thoughts, and there is a lot to talk about. Trust me. Plan on joining us live tonight, 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time, as we will talk more in depth of some of these things and things that we're already seeing while cruising, and what is ahead, what lies ahead for cruising. Tomorrow, I'm going to have a video that's going to talk about, do I think cruise lines will cancel cruises in 2022? We've already seen Royal Caribbean. They've taken sailings off of their website in January. We'll talk about that. There's just a lot. There really is to talk about. We know that you'll stay with us. If you're not a subscriber yet, if you're not an Islander, please consider subscribing. I promise you will enjoy our content, but you will enjoy even more our community of Islanders that are here to help each other. We will see everyone tonight live at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time right here on Island Time.